Abusia Kennedy a compare kwa Agyapong ade se wama Anas Aremeyaw Anas ne ho akire no esan se kame akwa se amanfo a Anas Aremeyaw Anas ene omunya problems nyina no Kennedy a compare kwa Agyapong ene omatimu up a omukwa Kofi Anas abusia mepese ye beko ne akwa timu nchiremu.
But it looks like a lot more are following him and are sure that the 65-year-old who was born in a sin dumpim would be the next president of the republic if he's able to skip that space called the primaries. This is Kennedy Agyapong Akompreko. Now, one of the bitterest enemies of Kennedy Agyapong in Ghana here is Aremeyaw Anas, an investigative journalist that Kennedy Agyapong calls a thief and a landguard. In fact, a murderer. Anas doesn't like those names. For that matter, he ran to court trying to get the court to actually bar Kennedy Agyapong from calling him such names and also to punish him. At the end of the day, Kennedy Agyapong was set free by the judge, who went ahead not only to free him, but to affirm the fact that, according to him, Aremeyaw Anas was not an investigative journalist. What he was an investigative terrorist, using his position as an investigative journalist to terrorize people and be able to squeeze money out of them. Kennedy was so happy in court. Anas wasn't. He ran to the courts in America. He won the case, but there was no money. He went back to the courts in America, and this time around, he's asking for millions from Kennedy Agyapong. Would he succeed? But that is not the focus of today's show. The focus of today's show is everybody in Ghana knows Aremeyaw Anas. Presidents have supported him. In fact, it started with John Evans Atta Mills, who said that he would use the Anas principle to be able to deal with corruption in Ghana. And what's the Anas principle? You will catch people on camera doing nasty things, criminal activities, and then you'll be able to use that as evidence to put them away for good. The Anas principle. When Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo was campaigning to be president, he also said the same thing, that he would use the Anas principle in order to catch corrupt people. And it looked like in his first tenure, he actually encouraged Anas. In fact, at the chagrin of Kennedy Agyapong, who doesn't like Anas one bit and didn't see why his president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, should be subscribing to the tactics of Aremeyaw Anas. My brother, my sister, now something interesting is happening. One of the biggest documentaries, according to some Ghanaians, even though I share a different opinion, one of the biggest documentaries of Aremeyaw Anas is number 12. And number 12 was all about football. To Anas himself, he didn't think that people were going to be so interested in football. What did he do? He caught a lot of referees, taking bribes, and selling out matches. In fact, even here in Ghana, when Accra House of Oak and Asante Kotoko played, and there seemed to be some kind of bad refereeing, many people died. It became one of the most serious stadium disasters that we ever recorded in West Africa and beyond. We all remember that at the Aduhenine Stadium, at the time called the Accra Sports Stadium. My brother, my sister, Anas went into investigations undercover, and he came out with so much information. So many people, referees and players, taking money in order to sell matches. My brother, my sister. And then his focus lights finally fell on the boss of Ghana football, Kwesi Nyantakyi. This is Kwesi Nyantakyi. At the time, he was the Al Capone of Ghana football. Nothing happened in Ghana that was sports related if Kwesi Nyantakyi was not there to put his finger through. You needed Kwesi Nyantakyi's finger in every sporting activity in order to make it tick and talk. Now, Kwesi Nyantakyi was loved by almost everybody. Oh yes, he won matches for us. He did a lot of work underground and he became wealthy from his hard work. Now the wild-born boy, all of a sudden, was all over the world, flying left, right, and center, and Anas's cameras caught him in Dubai, sitting in front of a fake sheikh called Sheikh Al-Thani, and Kwesi Nyantakyi was running his mouth, thinking that he had actually landed a big deal to improve Ghana football and to also enrich himself. He asked for a total of 12 million American dollars so that he will use that money to help Sheikh Al-Thani do football business in Ghana. And what did he want to use the 12 million for? Some of the money would go to he himself. In fact, he even talked about money laundering, how that money could be laundered through him into Ghana. He also wanted money for Kennedy Agyapong, because for him, Kennedy Agyapong was a loud guy who talked too much, and in order to go free, you need to bribe him to buy his silence. That was an indictment. But when the matter came out, the Ghanaian people took it serious. Kwesi Nyantakyi lost his job. In this documentary, he was actually talking about how powerful he was and how he had the president in his pocket. The president of Ghana didn't take kindly to that. In fact, the Confederation of African Football decided to pull him out of his position, and he was suspended. It looks like right now, Kwesi Nyantakyi does not hold anything football that is tangible. He's gone all broke. The last time we saw him trying to become an MP at Ejuso, he fell flat. He didn't get up to, the votes of 200 people. My brother, my sister, it was terrible for him. Only cockroaches and mosquitoes voted for him. And he realized that it was time to go home. He had become so unpopular, he needed to build up himself again. It is very, very unfortunate and sad how people at the helm of affairs, known by everyone, could all of a sudden descend to the ground and crumple like a house of cards. This is Kwesi Nyantakyi. Now, Aremeyaw Anas was the one responsible for this. Kennedy Agyapong has been so angry with Anas. He said Anas actually pushed these people, and he used those videos to try and get money from people like Kwesi Nyantakyi. Kwesi Nyantakyi was unable to pay money, or else Aremeyaw Anas would have dropped the case and nothing would have happened. Anas has denied all this. But a long story cut short. Come here, my youth. Now, a long story cut short, my brother. Kennedy Agyapong has become a terrible enemy of Anas. Kwesi Nyantakyi has also become an enemy of Anas. And then we also saw Charles Bisu. Charles Bisu took money, which was said to be bribe money, to allow people to do galamsey or illegal mining, my brother, my sister. Now, when Kennedy Agyapong, my brother, my sister, started running his campaign to be president in his first tenure, he didn't involve these people. But the second time round, he has brought on Charles Bisu as his campaign manager. Charles Bisu, from the Anas Galamsey documentary, who was seen on camera taking bribe, allegedly, and is now standing trial with the Office of the Special Prosecutor as the prosecutor. The courts haven't decided yet, but Kennedy Agyapong have decided to take him. My brother, my sister, we talked about that last week. So what is new? A video came out. We saw Kennedy Agyapong in the northern region of Ghana. He went all the way to the upper west region of Ghana, where Kwesi Nyantakyi was born. Now, Kwesi Nyantakyi speaks fluent Wale. In fact, he's a Wale boy. My brother, my sister, and in this video, Kwesi Nyantakyi is saying some really terrible things. I'm going to do a quick translation, but first and foremost, listen to what Kwesi Nyantakyi said, campaigning for Kennedy Agyapong in Wa. Watch this.
Bana ahayelu pu pambana kaka yenam benka honorable Kennedy Agyapong awoleo numpong awole ayire no nkon ma ahena men na anyeji aha abansonye yeji amambora nke tare dogora ku bi ayelepuo anaka treasurer yale no wa 8 years hali ye baba to cleaner at the office of the president onye na dolika leo chena nturoje kan wala yankun change mba mine ane mma mine
smart
kina oturo diye ka na mba otare so na kuya ima la change wa kina tede poko ko tare doka ha e ko mba ho chala tede poko jala bi mamile kina tu ala.
My brother, my sister, Agyapong is sitting at the back. They are addressing members of the party and trying to get new people on board. What is Kwesi Nyantakyi saying here? He says, why should we go back and take a man who is failed? A guy like Bawumia, he's failed. Right now, we need a new guy like Agyapong, who should be able to stand firm and direct our paths. After all, when Bawumia said he was only a mate, what was he trying to tell us? He was running away from his responsibilities. Or was he a cleaner right there inside the presidency? If you have a cleaner at the presidency who is not cleaning well, what do? You get a better cleaner and throw this one away. Or maybe you turn him into a cleaning brush and clean up the place. He seemed.
The global AI market is projected to reach $1.770 billion.
Charles Bisu, as we predicted a few days ago, he is on a trajectory, on a journey, my brother, my sister, of undoing everything Aremeyaw Anas has done. Right now, it is the turn of Kwesi Nyantakyi, who is part of his campaign team. Now, one person is visibly missing. Charles Edubuahine. How many of us know Charles Edubuahine? How many of us remember this guy? This was the guy who was asking for a bribe of about 200,000 American dollars for the vice president of the Republic of Ghana. That is him. In the same Galamsey documentary, this guy, Charles Edubuahine, a son of the historian Albert Edubuahine, a member of the NPP. Now, this guy boasted more than Nyantakyi did in number 12. He said that the president of the Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, had been helped so much by his father, Professor Albert Edubuahine, and for that matter, the president owed him a lot of responsibility because his father had helped him in the past. Therefore, he had easy access to the president. He could go there anytime, anyhow, because of what his father did to support Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. He didn't end there. He asked for 200,000 American dollars as bribe to be given to the vice president of the Republic of Ghana. And he was also operating in the office of the vice president of the Republic of Ghana because of the political connections he had via his father, Professor Albert Edubuahine. The vice president got angry and they had to chase him out of the vice president's office and also the presidency. It was captured all over the place. Watch this. 200,000 American dollars appearance fee. Bawumia was unaware of Edubuahine's deals. OSP report. The OSP went into it, checked it out, and it came out that, in fact, Bawumia wasn't happy. And especially, he didn't even know that Charles Bisu was growing fat using the name of the vice president to take bribes left, right, and center as appearance fee. He was kicked out of the presidency, the vice president's office, and from that time, in fact, from the days of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, he's falling down, falling crested. My brother, my sister, with an egg on his face, he has fizzled out into thin air, disgraced totally as a bribe taker and a corrupt guy. Charles Edubuahin, from that time till now, has been living in political oblivion. Will Kennedy Agyapong go for this one too? Would he say that the President of the Republic, the investigation of the OSP, and even the Vice President of Ghana have all been wrong about all these guys? The President kicked out Charles Edubuahin. Vice President kicked him out. OSP denounced him and kicked him out as well. Ghanaians denounced him and kicked him out. Will Kennedy Agyapong go for this one too? And if it does, would it authenticate his ferocious hatred for Anas? Or would it just be his passionate love for justice? Is Anas a corrupt guy, a landguard, a murderer? Is Anas an investigative journalist or an investigative terrorist? It looks like now the easiest way to get into the Kennedy Agyapong camp is to be a friend of Aremeyaw Anas. But we keep our lenses wide open as we watch to see if Charles Edubuahin, who was heard asking for a bribe, just like Nyantechi, to be given to the Vice President, which made the Vice President angry. He confessed to the President, confessed to the Vice President that he did that and he was sorry, just like Nyantechi did. Would he bring him into his team? And if he does, would it just be sheer hatred for Anas? Or would it be Kennedy Agyapong's love for lawlessness? Or his love for thinking out of the box? Or his love for believing in what he believes in? This is the Black Pot, aka Kukushonomo, where we, in fact, speak truth to power. If all the enemies of Anas are now being rallied around Kennedy Agyapong, then what will be the fate of Anas should Kennedy Agyapong ever become president of this nation? Your guess is as good as mine. It's the Black Pot, aka Kukushonomo, and here we speak truth to power. Hey! Hey! Oh, yo!